Louisiana Beer Reviews, Beck's Premier Light. Well, I don't even remember where I bought this. I think it was at Martin Wine Cellar. I think I might be wrong, but it was one of these places that I frequent. It wasn't expensive. It says originated in Bremen, Germany. Well, that's telling me it's the American-made version. Yeah, okay, product of USA. This beer was introduced in 2005. Beck's is today part of the InBev empire of beers. It's only got 64 calories, so it's the lightest imported beer in America. 12-ounce bottle. Not much else to say about it. It gets an awful score on Beer Advocate. The bros say it's awful. Gets a 0 out of 100 on rate beer and a 4 out of 100 for the style. No shock there, but let's look at it. You might say, why are you even drinking this? Why are you reviewing it? Well, it exists. I'm not a fan of light beer. Okay, I'll admit that. I don't really ever drink them, but I'll try to be fair with it. I wasn't impressed with the 55. Select 55 is just too light. The Miller 64 had a little bit more flavor, but it didn't exactly have flavor. It was very, very light. But they're created to be super light. 2.3% alcohol. That's almost not even like an alcoholic drink. I remember the Heineken Light was so very light. Well, it's a thick, foamy head, typical light beer look, and it's a clear straw appearance, lots of streaming bubbles in this etched Anheuser-Busch tasting glass. Figure that'd be a good glass to use. This beer is made according to the Reinheitsgebot of 1516. However, it doesn't use any corn or rice adjunct. It's barley, it's water, barley malt, hops, and yeast. It's just a very light presentation of those. I don't really see it around too much. I see the regular Beck's, sometimes the Beck's Dark, or what's it called, Beck's Special Dark, and the Sapphire, and the Beck's non-alcoholic. You can really smell the sweet, pungent barley malt. The grassy hops, for sure. It smells a whole lot like the regular Beck's, but sometimes these light beers will be deceptive. They'll have a rather rich aroma, kind of a full aroma, and then the flavor is just nothing there. Or, barely anything there. Well, let's go with it. There's no skunkiness, and it's nothing foul about it. There's nothing bad about the aroma, really. It's really, in fact, quite a good aroma. It's like an A. Excellent. Let's go with the flavor. Yeah, this is where that light beer character jumps in. I remember when I started drinking beer in February of 1996, I used to just hate light beers. That was the one style I had to come around to. And a lot of people, when you look at the craft beer world, they'll talk about how they got into it drinking light beer and they had to gravitate toward craft beers. Whereas in my case, I was right into the craft beer, just drinking whatever I saw on the shelf. I'd say, oh, this is good, it's chocolatey, whatever. And then, but the light, and then I liked a lot of the regular beers too, like Schlitz, whatever, but it's the light beers I couldn't stand. They tasted like mineral water, I thought, and they just had no body, or I couldn't really stomach them. Now I've learned I can at least, drink them, and they're not really enjoyable, but I don't hate them anymore. It's a faint biscuity barley malt. It's a faint grassy hops, a faint sweetness, but the predominance is water. It's not bad. If it's from St. Louis, it's going to be Mississippi River water. All the beers at the brewery are made with water from the Mississippi River. You can imagine the mouthfeel is super light and watery, and the finish is crisp, clean, refreshing, ultra dry, and the drinkability is very high. You're not drinking much. But once again, there's nothing really to say off or bad about it or wrong about it. What did they want to do? Make an ultralight beer, 64 calories, like Miller 64, formerly known as Miller Genuine Draft 64. But you know, for an ultralight beer, it's okay, it's good in that style, the ultralights. But for beer overall, it's not too much to it. It's a C. It's a C because I was going to say C minus just because it's so flavorless, but I can't say that because it's a C. It's average, but they're making what they want to make. I guess I should say it like that. They wanted to make it like this, and so it is. So if you want to try something really dull without a whole lot of flavor or body or character, this could be one to try. But when you're drinking beers like this, I think the best option is to only look at price. Except in extreme cases, like you wouldn't want to buy a beer 30 light. That's, I mean, if somebody gives you that, you really, if somebody gave that to me, I wouldn't drink it because it's too bad. But I was going to say Milwaukee's Best Light is probably just as good as this, even though it's made with adjunct and it's way cheaper. So y'all come on down to New Orleans.